Hi, I'm Reesha on the radio here live in downtown Yakima at PJ's Music Box. And today we have M Status with us today.
Hey.
Hi, M Status. I have to say I am fangirling right now. I'm a big fan. I saw one of your latest music videos and it was so beautiful. I almost was crying.
Oh, one of those.
And now you're on your fourth album, your fourth studio album. Tell us about and it's called
Right Where I Need to Be.
Right Where I Need to Be.
Yeah, for sure.
It sounds like that has a lot of meaning and I want to hear about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But first, tell us about the journey that led you to this fourth album.
True. This one means a lot and it took me a while to get to this point. My first one, Prosperity, was just at like a youthful young time, young, free, just doing you, and the music feels like that, the energy is like that. So then we go from there to My Karma, which was more experience. You know, you live in life, you go through the ups and downs, you go through the breakups, and so that's what that album feels like. In every project I wanted to have a feeling, have a meaning behind it, you know? So then last year we did Next Level, and that was like a combination. I feel like it was like that actual level up. And so now with Right Where I Need to Be, it's kind of like taking all of the experiences, everything, and knowing that life still continues. You're still gonna learn. You can never not learn new things, you know? And so I think through everything, the ups, downs, positive, negative, all of that, it puts you in a place where it's like, okay, I went through this, I accomplished this, I failed at this for a reason, you know? And this is the reason, this is where I need to be right now. And so like musically and sonically, that's what it feels like. And it took a while, honestly. The way even this process of the project, we recorded everything I just went in before the album name even came. Like it was all just music, and I'm like, okay, sitting for days listening and like, what does it feel like? You know, I got with my team, shout out to Team Next Level, and they helped me, and I kind of gave them my vision and they bounced the ideas off of me, and so it just felt like that's what it is. And then listening to everything, finally we're like, yeah, that's the vibe, you know? So
where do you draw your inspiration for the story of your songs after you've got the beat down?
Man, you know, that's crazy. A lot, and it's so funny because a lot of times people are like, oh man, who's this song for? Who's this song about? And a lot of times, you know, I let them draw their own conclusions. But to be completely honest, like I could be having a conversation with the homie and he's telling me about something him and his girl are going through. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. You know, of course, trying to be an understanding friend. But I'm like, man, that would be a dope song though. You know what I mean? So of course I always get like, is it cool if I, you know what I'm saying? So it depends. Obviously, personal experiences are great, but I feel like even getting into this industry, in this game, a lot of what I was doing was like referencing and songwriting. And so sometimes you gotta be able to put yourself in that position. And that was like one of the big things that I was really confident about. When people were asking me like, oh man, this is deep, who was this about? And it really would have nothing to do with nothing. Like it was just something that I felt. I knew I was doing my job. You know what I mean? It's like an actor in a movie. If you're the villain and I don't hate you at the end of this movie, like you didn't do your job, you know what I mean? So it's like, I gotta like bring you into that world. It could be my story, it could not be my story, but as long as I convince you that it's mine, then I did my job. So yeah, I think I'm all over the place, you know?
I think one thing that makes you such a great artist is that you're able to tap into something that is relatable to your audience.
Yeah, for sure.
And you've got new singles that are coming out, and these singles are going to blow up. So tell us about your favorite one on your album, Right Where I Want to Be.
On the Right Where I Want to Be, there's a bunch, man. There's a bunch that I put a lot of work in, a lot of time into. The one you were referring to earlier, the music video we did was for Wishful Thinking.
Oh, and I love that.
Yeah, it was, you know, it wasn't even supposed to be like a lead single or anything. It just felt right. And once again, we're chilling in the red room with the team, and I'm always going through the records and bouncing them off of the team. Like, what do you guys think of this and that? And so that was one that, you know, my boy Steven was like, yo, this is dope. We got to do something different for this. And so like that's where the inspiration came from, as far as going on a hot ass hike. You know what I mean? In the middle of summer. But
so it looked like it was cold, like a nice chilly day.
That just goes to show the genius of Stephen Chase, because I was sweating. We was all sweating.
No way.
And I had a long sleeve on. People on the hike looking like, bro, what? Like,
yeah, you had one of those jackets tied around.
Yes, it was like crazy. But when you watch it, you wouldn't even see that I was gonna have a heat stroke. You know, it was just so smooth. So I mean, shout out to my brother Stephen Chase. But yeah, that was his whole thing. And even originally when he came with the idea, no lie, I thought we were gonna just kind of drive to a grassy area and low key fake it. Like, okay, as long as I got some grass and some trees, and then we got you here, like, hey, it works. But he's like, no, bro, we gotta hike. Like, we're gonna really hike. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, for here, they there or there? Oh, you want to go to the waterfall? You know, so it was. But I'm so glad we did that. And now, you know, I'm like, man, what's the next hike? Well, it took me a little bit to get there, I ain't gonna lie. But now I'm like, hey, I'm with it. But yeah, that whole song and inspiration was just kind of on a real tip, as far as just feeling like, you know, in this life we're all searching for something. And you know, in the record, you know, it's talking about kind of just trying to find that person for you. But I feel like, you know, wishful thinking is bigger than that. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're trying to find your meaning, you're trying to find your purpose, you're trying to find what you're made for, and you know, you're just hoping for the best and living this thing called life. So I feel like that's why it's such a deeper thing. We originally were debating, should we have a female in it, should we not? And I'm glad that we decided not to go with it, because, you know, at the end of the day, sometimes you gotta just get in your own world, get in your secret space, and just think about what you want to accomplish. And so that's why it was important to go to the wilderness. And I'm sitting on a rock, like, man. You know what I'm saying?
I will say that it gave me some Jodeci vibes. Yeah, I was waiting for the other three people to come through, the other three M statuses to come
through. For the who, yeah. The who, yeah.
So who are some of the artists that you collaborated with on Right Where I Want to Be?
Oh man, so there's a lot. I was able to work with a lot of cool artists, and do the things the right way as far as business wise and clearances and all of that. Some I'm gonna keep a secret until the album drops. You know,
tell me. I won't tell anybody.
I know, right? Yeah. We gonna do that on camera. But I think one of my favorite records right now. I don't know. Man. I got Kurt Cobain's on the album. I got Paul Wall on the album. We got Frankie J on the album.
Okay, I'm already blown away.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. And then showed some love to my local artists as well. Off top, I can't remember everybody, but I try to really include, like, if I'm working with like a bigger name or a well-known name, I always try to like make sure that I come back to the hometown, because I remember being the young and trying to get on, you know,
right,
and want that type of, you know, feature or just that look. And so, you know, to the ones and to the young artists in the city that are working hard and putting in work, I see it. I'm like, yo, let's work. It doesn't matter what it is, let's make it happen. So there's a lot of great collaborations, not only just like feature wise, but even like musically, you know what I'm saying? Like I really just kind of tapped in. My man, shout out to my man Isaac Gambito too. He's very, very talented young artist, and we have a great record called Keep You Safe that's a whole crossover song. You know, when you hear it, you're like, oh man, this doesn't sound R&B, this doesn't sound hip hop, this is just musical. And that's like always been my main thing, like to be, you can't really put me in a box, you know, I can really do everything. And I was raised around everything musically, you know, and I'm a musician as well. So I always try to like incorporate that in my projects. And when I give people like these albums, I want to give them like a body of work, you know, not just a collection of cool songs, but I always, and a lot of times people get it on the back end, but when you listen to my albums straight through, there's things that you'll miss if you skip, you know. And so there's like sometimes songs within songs, there's like interludes, there's like different things like that I put in there as Easter eggs just for the people that really listen, you know. And so this album is the same way. So you got to listen through. There's things that you might miss, or a song within a song that's like, yo, this is dope. I didn't even know this was on here, you know. So, but it's like that really musician and musical side of me. Like, it's one thing to just do a bunch of cool songs. So I feel like that's seasonal. That only lasts for a little bit, and you know, you're on to the next. But I feel like if you play this, and then you play it again, and you play it again, you're gonna get something out of it each time, and it just keeps it new every time you hear it. You're like, dang, I didn't catch that, or I didn't know this was here, or oh wow, that's crazy. So I always try to give them more, you know, for you know, the love that they're showing to buy the record and do all that good stuff. So there's a lot of great features, a lot of great music, a lot of great compositions. Like it's different. There's something for everybody. I know the game has changed. The listeners have changed, and which is great. I'm blessed. I have a wide variety of fans, but at the same time too, I still want to do it for those listeners. I want to do it for the musicians, that make music and like can respect, like, oh man, this ain't just auto-tune rap. This is like, oh, he got some keys. Oh, he can play okay, like those things, because that's what I was on. That's what I looked up to. But at the same time, if you're not elevating, you're fading away. So my main thing is always trying to find the best of both worlds, and I love to collab with the young artists and then put them on something different and then add, what I was brought up on, production wise, and just create a whole new genre, a whole new sound. So yeah.
So then you're based in the Pacific Northwest. Absolutely. And how were you able to pivot during COVID? Because I'm sure your touring opportunities, but I'm sure it also gave you more time in the studio.
It did. That was big for me. Definitely took a couple of L's, like show wise, and I look at it now. And
a couple of L's.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta hold one of them. You know what I'm saying? And so there was a few that I kind of had to hold, but at the end of the day, though, this album probably wouldn't have been made without being able to really sit and focus and go through and feel. You know what I mean? Right. I always draw inspiration from feeling, and it's wild. A lot of times, it's weird. It's always like that. When my personal life is just smooth and it's cool, like music-wise, I feel like whatever. But when I'm going through it, you know what I'm saying, and it's like just like everything personally is just like crazy, I always make the best music. It's so crazy. So I was able to really draw, and I feel like everything happens for a reason. God don't make mistakes, and I feel like that was for me. You know what I mean? I needed to really be able to hone in and focus on this project and focus on what I wanted it to feel, what I want the listener to feel when they listen to it. And I feel like that's what is different about my music, and I feel like low-key that's what people are missing. When you turn on a song that makes you think of something, it's because it gave you a feeling of that time. Right. You know what I mean? And so now everybody's kind of focused on like, oh, it's catchy, but catchiness wears off, but a feeling is forever, And so I had to really hone in and focus on the feeling. Like, this is the feeling I want to give you and remind you 5 years from now if you happen to pull this album up and, oh, dang, I remember where I was, or I remember what I felt when I heard this, you know what I mean? That's rare. So, yeah, I think, man, that the COVID and everything else gave me the experience to just hone in. We all had to, you know what I mean? We all
more
had
like
to,
home and
home, yes,
going
for
anywhere.
Real. And thank God for the home studio, you know what I mean? And just being able to stay consistent and really still work as far as that goes, and to be more prepared. You don't miss what you just always experience. And so like, now being able to get back and perform in front of a live crowd for the first time this past weekend.
Oh wow! What was that like?
Was huge. I mean, I did the live stream show, which was great, but it was like live stream, so it's just me and my close people, and we're, we seeing all the comments and people that's tuning in. That's awesome.
Did you feel nervous at first, or were you like, I'm gonna cry, I'm so emotional, or did it feel like, oh, I got my groove back?
Man, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even really think about it. I feel like, even musically, I'm blessed to do this, but it's still a job. So I always go in like, okay, I got to make sure that I sound good. I got to make sure that I give these people not just a couple of songs, but an experience, So I try to like connect, and that's just kind of been my energy off of, since I've been doing it. So that was the first thing I thought. And so it didn't really hit me until I started getting the responses back. Oh, then it was just like, oh man, this is cool. Like, oh yeah, you know what? This is what it feels like. I'm not looking at the comments on the screen, you know what I mean? Like, there's people here that can interact and that can vibe and that can feel it, So
where did you have your first live stream show? Post-COVID.
The live stream show, right there at the crib. Yes, ma'am. Shout out to my team once again. We set everything up right there in my living room, and I wanted it to feel like that. I know a lot of artists who are transitioning to that as far as just like home shows, and so I wanted it to feel like you were getting a show, but still like we were right here at the crib. So I left like some couches, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had the lighting and everything right, but it was literally right in my living room, set it up amazing, you know, and like I said, once again, shout out to the team that just made my vision come true, because I knew I wanted to do something. It had been so long, you know, and there was just no performances, and I was putting out records and singles and different things like that, but you're not able to reach your people if they can't really connect with you somehow. And so I remember just kind of being in meetings like, it would be dope to do a live stream show. And so there was other avenues that we were kind of reaching out to that were with it. But, you know, to be honest, in the same token, being in the genre that we're in, being, you know, where we are, sometimes it's pushed to the side, you know, and it's just like, okay, yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll get at you. But they're thinking, oh, I don't know, hip hop, R&B. Like, they put it all in the box, not knowing, like, you know, I'm a singer, and my people that are gonna come to the show are chill. You know what I'm saying? Probably just cool individuals and pretty girls. That's all that's gonna be there. It's gonna be a good vibe, you know. But you know, sometimes they lump everything urban into like, oh man, I don't know if I want that crowd. Oh yeah, we'll get at you. So
why do you think that there is that perception of hip hop and R&B and urban music?
Yeah, I feel like they don't take the time to separate the differences. It's just like, if it's urban, if it brings this type of crowd, it's all the same, you know. And I mean, I get it too. Like, unfortunately, there's been a lot of negative things that have happened at a lot of, you know, different hip hop or rap shows. And I mean, you know, if you're a business owner, you got to think about that. You know what I mean? And I get that. But at the same time, it's a different lane, you know. And so sometimes if you do the research, you know, anybody that does their research on, you know, what I've been blessed to accomplish, not to toot my own horn or anything, but just
toot it.
I mean, you know what I mean? They'll be able to know, like, okay, if we're gonna do anything, this is probably the person that we need to have here, you know. But at the same time, if you don't take that effort, then it's cool, and it's all a blessing in disguise, because you know, I you know, get with the team and kind of, hey, this is what I feel. We've been trying to do this and this, but whatever, we'll make it happen. But to have people that believe in you, is like, you know what? My boy Steve was like, yeah, we'll get the things we need. Why don't we just do it ourselves? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's, you know what? All 2021. Yeah, no L's, no losses. We gonna do what we gonna do, and that's exactly what it was. And so now, when you think about it, if I want to go live tomorrow, we gonna go live tomorrow, and it's not like, oh, I gotta ask and check and da da da. Nah, we can do that, you know. And had we settled and just probably got a little bit of, okay, yeah, you guys come in for 2 hours, but y'all gotta leave, that would have, it still would have probably been successful, but then that's it, you know. Now the power's in our hands, you know. And so that's the thing, like, I appreciate that so much, the bigger picture.
Yes.
You know, sometimes we settle within ourselves, and it's like, nah, you know what, put the work in, learn what you need to learn, and then do that whenever you want. You know what I mean? So that was huge for me, and I guess just the love from the people, the responses, so cool, so great. Like, it was so much love, and that was like the first where I was like, man, I missed this vibe. I know people weren't there, but man, I missed just this love. This is amazing. And so to go from there to, you know, this weekend, you know, a live show and the same, you know, great energy, and just like, I was like, oh man, okay, I was a little rusty. I was like, yo, I got to get back out here and really know how to rock. But it was great. It was a great, you know, it was a great feel to know, like, all right, I'm gonna watch it back. I got to do this better, I got to go here, you know. But, you know, everything is opening back up, you know, thankfully, and right in time for the album, right in time for what we need to do for this vision to be accomplished. You know what I mean?
Do you ever have people that reach out to you on your live streams or on Snapchat or and say, I want to work with you. How do I get to sing on your songs?
Yeah, I do.
And what's the process for that?
Yeah, I definitely do. And it's very, very humbling, you know, very humbling, because at the end of the day, I still look at myself as a youngin' from the city, you know what I'm saying, that's really been working hard. I know I've been blessed, and I've been able to travel and perform and open up and you know, even headline a lot of great things, thank God, you know. But still, like, that's the roots. And so for people to reach out to me, and you know, every day somebody sending me a record or a song or something, and I really do listen. For y'all, I do listen, you know what I mean? Like, I do, and I try to give the realest criticism. I'm not a mean guy, you know, but...
Are you the Simon Cowell, or are you more like the Paula Abdul?
I'm right there in the middle. I got to be the Randy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my dog. But you never want to... I just learned, like, you don't want to be... Obviously, I don't want to be a dream killer, because, you know, that's not me. But I can't be like, oh, bro, this is dope. And then somebody else is like, this is terrible. Because then you're going to come back to me and be like, bro, you're supposed to be the homie.
You told me I was good.
Yeah, you feel me? Like, you know? So I try to find that happy medium where it's like, look, and just be honest, you know, and I really listen. So I'm like, you know what, I'll be able to tell you, you know what, at a minute and 15, you stuttered here, or you repeated this verse and you didn't finish it the right way, or I could tell you didn't have the full effort, or your rhythm is off here, you know. So it's
professional.
Just like, yeah, I mean, so
love
they,
it.
They can't be just like, oh, it's whack, you know what I mean? It's like, no, I'm gonna tell you why it can improve and where. So you're like, okay, hold up, you listen back, you're like, he listened to my song though, all right. Even if I'm mad at what he told me, he listened to my song. So yeah, but the process now, like I said, I'm always listening to everything. You know, I'm up on the streets, I'm up on what's new out here, and then of course it's just my local artists, and it's a new generation out here. It's crazy. It's crazy, and I've been doing it for a while, but people gotta understand.
How long have you? Or it's sort of like asking a woman how old are you?
No,
you're
good.
Can I
You're
ask
good.
you how long?
This is great because I wanted to touch on this because, you know, they make me feel like a super OG out here, Reesha, which is great, but it's because I've been doing it so long. But people gotta understand, like, I was really out here doing my thing at like 14 and 15 with the older people that was in the game, you know what I'm saying? So I was really in the studio and really producing these records at 15 and 16 and in high school. So like when people are like, oh man, that's an OG, he been doing it for like 10, 15 years. I was like, yeah, but I was 15 when I was visible, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, you know, but still I think it's a compliment. I don't ever be like, but it does, you know, it does date you. I'm like, wait a minute, bro, hold up, man. I can still talk y'all slang. Stop playing with me.
So you've been in the game for a minute, and I know you've seen some of the versus battles. That
for sure.
So if you had M Status versus, who is your dream versus? Even if you know you can't beat them because it might be like, no, not Earth, Wind, and Fire, but with like Method Man, they just had the 420.
The 421.
But who is your dream versus battle?
Versus battle. Oh man. Are we talking like industry? Are we talking locally? Are we talking regionally? What are we talking?
Industry, anywhere between local and industry. And I'm not talking about when you have technical problems like Babyface.
Yeah,
and
we got to do it to tell you.
We're talking about the good one.
It's all the way good, right? Oh man. That's crazy. So I'd have to think, because my lane is so different. Like, yeah, it's like an R&B lane, but like I have like a lot of crossover records. You know what? I'm gonna say, to be honest, that's definitely to be determined, because I have so much to give. And I feel like once I get to that point, you know, I have to have a solid 20 hits. Okay. And I'm really humble enough to know that I got some dope hit records that haven't been discovered yet, but I have more hits to make, you know. And I've written a lot of records that are pretty big that hopefully will get placed in the right hands. So that'll be another avenue where it's just like, instead of just being, okay, this is my song versus your song, like, okay, let me throw in a song I wrote. Let me throw in a song I produced. You know what I mean? So I think it's to be determined, because obviously, like, we're not taking no L's over here, man. You know what I mean?
No L's in 2021.
Yes, exactly. That's the motto, for real. We in the gym every day, like, no more L's in 2021, straight up. But like, I feel like that's a whole nother peak I wanna reach, and I know I have to put the work in, you know. And that's one thing that's made me who I am as far as an artist, as far as a person. You know, I've seen so many people in this game that's just feel so entitled off of a song or two, or just being like, oh, I'm in the studio now, I'm that guy. You know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute, like, and that's where it comes back to like bigger than music. Like, I'm willing to put the work in. I'm willing to say, you know what, I do this and I've done this, but there's so much more that I want to accomplish. There's so much more that I want to learn. There's so much that I've sacrificed. You know what I mean? So like, definitely, I feel like the Versus is a celebration of artists that have put that work in, and I'm definitely. Don't knock
yourself down.
Yeah. I'm not ashamed to say that I still got so much work to do. You know, I'm not content. You know what I mean? I feel like it wouldn't be fair to the people to give them a Versus quite yet, because I got that joint. I got a couple of them joints that's gonna be like, oh man, okay, yeah.
Let's pivot back to talking about your fourth album.
Indeed.
So tell me about some of the. That's right. Speaking of work, what are some of the other singles that we can expect to hear?
Okay, man. So my first official single, we'll start there, which is amazing. I'm so excited about it. It's called "I Wanna Love You." it's I feel like it's a no-brainer. I feel like it's one that you hear right away, and it feels good. It doesn't sound like you can just classify it as a good record. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain sound nowadays, and I don't feel like you can put it in a box. You can't be like, oh, this is a hip hop song, or this is an R&B song, or this is a pop song. I feel like you hear it, and when it drops, it's like, yo, this is just a good song. This joint grooves, and so I'm so excited. We actually start filming the video the end of this month, which is amazing. You know,
are you going to go hiking in this video?
We're not going to go hiking on this one. Shout out to my sis Soul. She came up with an amazing concept. I'm not even going to give it away because it's so dope. Somebody might try to steal this joint, so we're not. I can't even tell you about it. You'll see it.
I'm going to ask you now. Can I get like a walk-on role in your next video?
Come on, Reesha. You know, Reesha's
and I'll just casually walk by.
Yeah.
I'm in an M status video.
Reesha's fam. Anything, fam. You already know. You pull up in there, man. You can get in there and pop lock if you want to.
So what's the next single? You've got it planned out.
That is. I do. That's definitely the next single. I Want to Love You. We're filming the video for that, and I think what we're gonna do is actually just do it the right way and drop the single radio-wise probably maybe a week and a half before the actual visual drops.
Okay.
We'll drop the visual, and then a few days later we'll drop the album off of the strength of what this video does, and I'm sure it's gonna be amazing. Like I said, great team. My man Steven Chase is behind the scenes, behind the lens, and of course this guy is a legend, so it's gonna be crazy. The visual itself is going to be great, you know what I'm saying? We got some big things planned for it. Can't say too much, but I think it's going to be something exciting for the city, for the region.
Okay.
And special, and that's what this whole new wave is about. It's just being special, being like just exciting, you know, giving people that optimism. You know, we need
some optimism after dealing with COVID
and hope and like, you know, inspiration. Like that's what it is. That's what this project is. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, we got the club records. Yeah, we turn up. But it's like, it's a feeling. It's a vibe. And every time, you know, I want people to hear my records or hear my music or even my projects, I always try to give them a form of like optimism and just a feel good vibes where it's like, yo, when I hear this CD or when I see this dude, I just feel good, you know? And so it's been really cool. My fan base has really grown, thankfully, and I'm blessed to be able to have such a solid like fan base. People really tap in every day to see what I gotta say, what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? Like my little sayings, everything, like they're really on it. And that's crazy because I remember being a youngin' coming up and nobody really caring, you know what I'm saying? And like just trying to make a difference. And now to see like, man, I have a consistent group of people that's pretty big that really check for me daily. You know, that's crazy. I still like, I'll never be one of those people that's just like, yeah, that's what, nah, like, that's so humbling, you know what I mean? Like, you could do anything else with your time, and the fact that people choose to like tap into me, spend it with me, and ask me questions and all of that, crazy.
Well, I have a feeling that someday we're going to see you on those late night talk shows, like maybe Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel or Conan or whoever.
That is absolutely the goal. Absolutely.
And when is your new album dropping?
Okay.
And then plug your website as well so we can download it.
See, there we go. And I saved that especially for this right here.
Oh, good. Okay.
Because originally I was like, okay, you know, we're gonna give people the date on the live stream. But there was still like kinks that we were working out. I wasn't sure. I was like, So, but it's official. We got the date, and it's going down May 18th.
Okay, May 18th.
Right where I need to be. We'll have physical copies. I know like that's like so dated. Everybody's like, oh, cars don't even make CD players no more. But you know what? When I be at these shows or these live shows, sometimes people just, yo, let me, like, you could be like, yo, go on iTunes, but it's just a different feeling when you're like, no, let me get the CD though. Even if I don't got nothing to listen to it, I'll put it in my crib, you know? I feel like that's so dope, you know? So I'm doing physical copies. Of course, we're everywhere, you know, on all the platforms.
Okay.
But also, and you can get on all the platforms, but we're definitely putting together the website to where you can get some exclusive stuff. If you get it through iTunes and all that, that's cool and that's good, and I appreciate the love. But if you go on the website though, and you download it from there, as you know, I stay recording all the time. So if you go on the website, you can get a couple of exclusive songs that ain't even gonna be on the iTunes version.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I always try to do something special. So this is what people do need to know. If you get the physical copy, every album, and this is every album, there's always 2 bonus tracks. So on the physical copy, there's 2 bonus tracks. On the iTunes versions, there's 2 bonus tracks, but they're different bonus tracks.
Oh.
So, you know, you might want to go ahead, and even if you go to the iTunes and you want to just download those extra 2 bonus tracks, that's cool. But I want to give the people something extra each time they get it, you know, just in case, you know, you got the diehards that's like, yo, I want the physical, then I'm gonna go to the iTunes, then I'm gonna go to the website. If you do that, that's dope, that's love, and I appreciate you. And just for you putting that effort in, you gonna get different songs each time you do that. It's not like I just got the same thing 3 different times, you know, so. Yeah.
That's like the gift that keeps on giving.
I mean, the fans are the gift that keeps on giving. So I'm
Speaking
just
of fans, we do have some fan questions.
There we go. Yeah.
And
shout out to the fan questions.
The number one fan question I was told. Now let me take a drink too, because they want to know: are you single?
Oh, see?
And ready to mingle?
See? That's crazy, man. You know, shout out to the fans. I put the feelers out there, and I told them that they could be a part of this process and just give me all the questions, and we gonna choose 1, 2, and 3, or you know, whatever is lit. So this was like the number 1, which is crazy. Why do you want to know about me? Like what?
They're fans.
Yes, but yeah, at this time in life, I absolutely am.
At this time,
I was recording.
What time is
April.
it? 5 minutes ago, I was sick officially.
No, man, I am. I've been for a little bit, and you know, it's different. You know what I mean? It's not like, well, I'm not like one of those dudes that's just like, oh, I'm gonna just be single. I'm an R&B singer. I'm an R&B dude, so I'm romantic. I'm a lover. So like, I love being in love. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool. Like,
how do you have time when you're always in the studio?
Exactly. And that's
is that one reason?
That's
why?
the thing. Like, you know what? If she's rocking, she's gonna have to understand, like, this is life. But I promise I'm gonna make the time. You know what I'm saying?
Quality time.
Yeah, you have to. That's important. But if you are behind my dream and my goal, you know, you're gonna be understanding too. Like, yo, this is what he's been doing. And I kind of struggled with that for a minute, because it's like, okay, how do you, once you get to a certain point, how do you find somebody that's really there for you, or somebody that's there for status? You know what I'm saying?
You go on The Bachelor and you become The Bachelor, and then you let them just fight it out.
Oh man, serious?
You can do your own version of The Bachelor right here. MPJ's Music Box.
Yo, MPJ.
I just set it up. Where's Patty?
Yeah, right.
Patty.
We could set them. Oh man, no, the goal, absolutely, the goal is to, you know, find a real one and just be, you know, I'm a real one. Like, I get it. I know the stereotypes that come with being a singer and being, you know, somewhat successful. Like I said, I still got so many things to accomplish yet, but I've been blessed, you know, and so like, I get it, and I know like people have their assumptions and different things like that, but honestly, like, promise you, I'm like the chillest person. I'm like the dopest boyfriend ever. So
you heard it right here.
I'll just put it out there. But yeah, at this moment in time, it's focus mode. I have a lot to accomplish, a lot to do, and that's where my goal and that's where my dreams are. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely, you know, I'm not one of those dudes like, oh man, yeah, I'm gonna be single forever, or I'm just doing me forever. Like, nah, man, like, I'm a lover. I was raised to be a father and a husband and a dad, you know what I mean? Like, that's
and a
just,
gentleman.
And that's just what it was. That's how Pops raised me. That's what I saw. That's what I grew up around. And so, like, you know, I'm just learning and figuring it out, and now just staying like, I mean,
now you're ready. I think you're
ready. I feel
ready.
like it's like that, huh? Yeah, Reesha, right where I need to be.
You're right where, exactly. This album has so much meaning on so many levels.
So many levels. Yeah, it takes some time. You know, you make your mistakes, you figure things out, and Lord knows I've done that. You know what I'm saying? I've made my mistakes, and which is crazy, because this album is about that a lot, even with the intro. And I can't wait for people to hear it. And I'm expecting a little bit of I'm not gonna say backlash, but I mentioned some situations, and I mentioned some names, and it wasn't like, it wasn't in
a gossip album. Okay.
No, it wasn't in a harsh way, but it was in a reflective way, because you know, I talk about the times that, because I know I'm learning, and I've learned, you know, but I have to acknowledge those times when I wasn't a perfect person. I have to acknowledge those times when I was the toxic one, you know, and so sometimes the best way to grow is to ask for forgiveness, is to give those people closure, you know, and not just say, okay, yeah, I'm better now. But sometimes you need to acknowledge, like, hey, that was terrible, and I'm sorry. And
have you ever ghosted somebody? Let's just give it.
Have I ghosted anybody?
You can admit it, because I will admit it.
Have I ghosted anybody? You know what? I haven't. Usually I'm the one that
gets
ghosted. That's
good.
Yeah.
You get ghosted.
I'm the one that gets ghosted because, like, you know, I've always been like, I always try to be like, just chill. Like, anybody that I've even been in a relationship with, if it didn't work out, it's cool. Like, I'm somebody, like, if I see you at an event, I'm like, oh, what's up? Like, it's cool. Like, I've never tried to be that, but a lot of times I just get in situations where it's like, and I feel for them, because if they're like trying to like move on or be like, oh man, I'm done with this dude, but then you turn the radio on and who do you hear? You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to the club, oh, he's in the VIP, or you go on Facebook, oh, he's doing it. Like, so I get it. Like, you're like, man, I'm just trying to shake this dude, and everywhere I go, it seems like there's this dude. Like, I hate this guy. Block. You know, and so like, I think that's where a lot of like, I had to really come real in a lot of these records, and especially, like, I started with that. The intro was just like, hey, you know what? I get it, and I just want to right my wrongs. You know what I'm saying? And give you some closure. I don't want any bad energy. No L's in 2021. No. You know what I'm saying? And like, bad energy is an L. And so I know there's a lot of things that I'm going to be doing. The summer is about to be lit. We got a lot of shows lined up, a lot of things that I'm still confirming. Okay. But you know, if I happen to run into somebody that I had a situation with, I don't want it to be like, oh, we gotta leave, girl. Like, nah, it's just like, you know what? It's cool. And that's just where I'm at mentally. I'm growing, man. I'm too grown for all the extra, you know what I mean? And I want everybody to be good. I want everybody to be successful. I want everybody to be prosperous. And I don't want any negative energy, man. I've come too far for that. And that's just what it is. And no matter what, at the end of the day, I'm trying to low-key give you the benefit of the doubt, because I'm not stopping. I'm not gonna work. I mean, if you see this and you mad, you're about to be really, really mad. So don't even be mad no more, because it's not gonna stop. Like, it's only gonna get bigger. And then when you go into these bigger shows and then they announce who's coming on, and you're like, everywhere I go, like, you know what, let's just kill that. Let's just kill that and be like, oh yeah, you know what, okay, cool, he was a real one. And I feel like people respect that. Nobody's perfect. Right. And I've been trying to shake that little bit of energy too, as far as people. I've always been really chill. I've always been in my own zone, and a commercial artist and a commercial person, but nobody's perfect. I've made my mistakes. I've done things that I'm not proud of, you know, in this life. And so, like, I know, like, once things happen and the single grows and the videos come out, sometimes when you have like that squeaky clean image in people's eyes, they look for, oh, I know what is this? Or who is, oh, I heard
You'll
this.
end up on Lipstick Alley.
Yo, exactly. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and let y'all know right now, I'm not a perfect person. I'm not wilding. I haven't got no crazy stuff. But you know what? Just like a human. You know what I'm saying? You learn and you grow, and I'm just trying to grow and be the best person I could be every day. You know what I'm saying? Some days I succeed, some days I could do better. But you know what? I'm willing to do better. And so, like, that's where I want to just show my transparency. That's what's so important. This album is transparent. You can feel it, because we're not perfect. We all aren't perfect. But you know what? We try, and I'm going to just give people that energy where it's like, you know what? I like this dude. He's real. And I just want to be real. So, all
right. Yeah. Well, the album Right Where I Want to Be drops indeed. May 18th. We cannot wait. Man. And the first single again is going to
Love You. The first single, May 18th. Okay. Right Where I Need to Be. And
can we find this on Snapchat? Because I've heard you are really into Snapchat. And there's some things that we need to see.
Yo, shout out to my Snapchat people.
What is going on with Snapchat?
Man, you know what? My Snapchat audience is lit right now. It's always been pretty lit. And a lot of that is too because I, like, before COVID, I was traveling all over the place. And that was one thing that I always plugged. So, like, I have people from all over the nation on that, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, and so for, you know, I think this past summer I started this thing, and it's all anonymous. Shout out, it's through Snapchat on YOLO, and people can just, sometimes when I'm at the hotel after a show, I'm chilling, I'm like, hey, you know what? For an hour, y'all can hit me with anonymous questions, and I'm gonna answer everything truthfully. But of course, when it's anonymous, they get the little, yeah. So Yeah.
So this is like baby steps to an OnlyFans?
No. Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, you know, I've been in the gym. I've been trying to get my strongman on a little bit, but yeah, the OnlyFans is not not in the.
You can do different things on OnlyFans.
Can you, Reesha?
How would I know? Where's Patty? This interview is over. Thank you so much, M Status.
Absolutely.
It's such a pleasure to talk to you.
Man,
I see big things happening for you, as they always have been.
Appreciate you so
and
much.
we cannot wait to hear this album.
Thank you. Shout out to everybody, all of you guys tuning in. Thank you, PJ's Music Box. Thank you, Team Next Level. And of course, my peoples, you guys make this thing happen right where I need to be, May 18th. We're excited. Stay tuned, tap in. It's the one and only young homie, YS. Oh, yes. Sheesh.